What are the regulatory and safety challenges of applying alternative proteins in food products? Some answers from the NextgenProteins project funded by the European Union in the frame of Horizon 2020. So which regulation and safety assessments are applying to alternative proteins? So what are the challenges for microalgae proteins?
You have hundreds of thousands of different algae strains, while on the GRAS list you can find maybe five. One of the recommendations would be to get a fast track regulatory framework that you could look into additional algae strain and enrich the portfolio of algae that might be serving as a source for protein. And the extraction process might bring additional regulatory challenges. Although some of the extractions are using GRAS solvents, for instance, water, ethanol, or supercritical CO2.
And what are the challenges for single-cell proteins?
The regulatory and safety challenges of single-cell proteins as food are as varied as the products within this category. Single-cell proteins encompass proteins derived from, for example, bacteria, fungi, or yeast. Depending on the microorganism, the regulatory path may be straightforward, as there may be a qualified presumption of safety. Other times, the path may be more complex. As an example, many yeasts such as brewer's yeast, baker's yeast, or Torilla yeast have a long history of safe consumption in Europe. In some instances, industrial production of yeast dates back 100 years. Due to this extensive record of safe consumption, the regulatory and safety challenges are minimal. Other sources of SCP may require more extensive evaluations to gather toxicological data and establish safe consumption levels, among other critical data. In these cases, the data requirements for a novel SCP may be extensive and the path towards commercialization lengthy.
And what are the challenges for insect proteins?
They are new to our food system in the current status. They are new for our food regulations. But already insects are consumed in a number of European countries. There are mostly national exceptions, but the European Union still doesn't authorize food insect or insect protein in the market of European Union. European Union food regulations, food laws take the consumer protection very seriously. And insects are also regarded as novel foods. First, they need to pass on the scientific evaluation of risks so that they are for sure safe for the consumers to eat. And this progress is ongoing at the moment. Actually, it's been ongoing for some years already. And we do expect to have the first European Union authorizations within this year or the next. Insects are farmed animals. They are treated same way as the livestock currently for other livestock, like chickens and any other farmed animals. We need to make sure their conditions are good for the animals, basically following the animal welfare regulations and rules. They are also regarded as food, which means that the same food legislation, same food laws, regulations apply to the insects than any other foods. The responsibility of the safety and fitness to the food market is on the producer.
How challenging is it to use alternative proteins in food products?
Studies are showing that the majority of the consumers are willing to eat more sustainably. New foods from more sustainable protein sources must be, first of all, safety for the consumers. That means it has to comply with certain regulation which might impose limitation with regard to impurities, microorganisms, etc. It has to taste good. It has to, very important, be affordable for the consumers, as well as available in the necessary quantities. Besides that, when bringing a new product into the market, socio-cultural barriers are often difficult to overcome. Technological properties, consumer acceptance, and sensory quality of the new alternative proteins are very important. Besides that, the nutritional value as well as the high digestibility are important aspects to be considered.